Alright. We should now be live. Oh, look at that. We already got a viewer. What's up, Lily? Alright, perfect. That's gonna be enough confirmation I need to know that I'm live. Ugh. How am I? I'm doing good. Happy New Year, by the way. Alright, so firstly, you all might be wondering, why am I on Into the Pit? Well, I had an idea for some background music. This is not it. There it is. Alright, which one of these should we go with? That's not bad. No. Nah. No, that's gonna get annoying fast. We just need some background music. That's not bad. I like that. Ooh, I like that one too. It's not bad. I think X43 is our go-to. I like it. I'm so happy you're reading it. Did you watch my previous reading streams, Lily? Where I fully read FNAF the week before? Because we fully finished the book. Like, we went through the entire, well, most of it. We didn't do every single ending / death, but we did a lot of things. We did a lot. We got the good ending, that's for sure. Or the true ending. Found the bonus item. I wonder if this book will also have a bonus item. Alright, that's good. Alright, we're gonna switch over to the book. And we got that sorted. Alright, let's begin. Let's see, is that good? Hold on, I need to double check. I tried to make the screen, like, so you can only see where the book is. Because in my previous stream, you could actually see the whole entire web browser, I think. In fact, let me confirm that. Yeah, the last stream, you could see the web browser. This stream, you should only be able to see the book parts. That's if this wants to load. Okay, this doesn't want to load because it's stupid. Let me do it the hard way then. I think it's good. You can see the page number. You can see the title. I think we should be fine. Here, let me double check. Let's start scrolling. Five Nights at Freddy's Return to the Pit, an interactive novel by Scott Cawthon. Special thanks to DJ Sturf. DJ Sturf tests everything, bro. He's like Scott's go-to guy for everything. Title page, dedication, intro. Title page. Oh, I get it. Dedication is that. Okay. Begin reading about the authors, series ad, copyright. Alright, this should be sure all the words are on the screen, and then we'll begin. It's a little cut off at the corner. Yeah, it's a little cut off. Let me see if I can fix that. Okay. Let's try fixing that. We're gonna go like this. And then we're gonna bring it down. And... okay, there we go. That should be good. Although you can see the top part of my browser, but that's fine. I don't mind that. Got the true ending on Return to the Pit. No spoilers. No spoilers. We pick the chooses to or help you. Sometimes I allow the chat to do that. It depends if I want help from the chat or not. Not yet, I'm sorry. Oh, it's fine, Lily. No problem. They're long, so I don't blame you. And it's just listening to me read. Like, there's not really any interesting visuals about it. So, completely understandable. It's fine either way. Alright. Sounds good. Did I fix the error? Okay, yes, I think I fixed the error. You can see a little bit of my YouTube shortcut in the corner, but that's fine. No one's paying attention up there anyways, in the top left corner. Alright, let's begin reading. This music is actually perfect. A little bit of background music. Alright, intro. This town, this stupid, pointless town, that's Oswald. You know how when you look at the map, all you see is a dot and a name of a place? Well, that's this town, up close. Just a dot with a name. Your name is Oswald. You're a 10-year-old 5th grader. And you hate it here. This town is just plain terrible. You didn't always think this. You assumed that every kid kind of hated the town they grew up in. That everyone got bored with the same old. That's just life. But then you realize, oh no, this town in particular, it's the worst. And it's not just your opinion, it's an objective truth. After all, if others actually liked it here, then maybe the majority of the stores along Main Street wouldn't be all boarded up. Maybe people would want to stay and work here. Maybe your best friend wouldn't have had to move away because his parents wanted a better life for him. Yes, this is the kind of town people run away from. A couple years ago, when there was a games shop and even a movie theater, maybe people would have stayed then. But now you'd better run away fast from it. Run away and never look back. But not you, not your family, no. Your family has been here for generations, and Mom has a good job at the hospital. Even if the hours are long and she always looks tired. She eventually... oh no, sorry, I struggle to read sometimes. You're gonna have to bear with me when that happens. I can't control it. So evidently, that means you're stuck. Because no one in the history of time ever changed their mind about a thing. If you want to play on easy difficulty, add a pair of yellow bunny ears and half of Fazbear coin to your inventory, and touch here. If you want to play on normal difficulty, start out with only your wits. Touch here. What do we want to do, chat? Do we want to play on easy difficulty or hard? Or normal, I mean. Easy or normal? Last time we did normal, so... do we want to get a little bit of a head start on things, or should we look for it all on our own? I mean, either way, I'm sure we'll eventually get all these items. What are we thinking, chat? I'm letting chat pick this one. Am I late? I'm late 42? Nice. Normal? Alright. You're not too late. I only just began reading. We were picking background music with, this background music for this stream is actually funny enough, we're using Into the Pit audio. We're using the little menu. Luckily, the music never runs out. Alright, switch back. Normal difficulty it is, since no one else said anything else. It's the start of summer vacation, and you're sitting in the car with your dad, looking out the window, staring at the buildings passing by. You notice the dead possum is still there. The dead possum is still there, seriously. Someone's gotta get rid of that dead possum. If I saw that every single day, I would puke. Like, I have a weak stomach for stuff like that. Getting nicely cooked in the heat. Ew! Yum. It's a sunny day, but even a sunny day in this town is gloomy, painful. The storefronts are bleached from the sun, everything reflecting a white hotness that makes you squint. The wood on the boarded up windows are covered in graffiti tags. The glass of the few stores that still exist are dusty and dull. It all makes you feel kind of itchy. You look down at the notebook in your lap instead, at the drawings you've made because you like to draw. Or at least you think you like to draw. Drawing is a way to escape the mundane, the reputation. No. Repetition every day. The droning on the teachers who have to give the same lesson over and over. So everyone understands, even if you got it already. But would you do it if you didn't have to? Use it to survive. You don't know, you think you would. You think you like it. You're pretty good at drawing, and lately, you've gotten into sketching these animal characters that are kind of like mascots. One's a bear, one's a bird, one's a rabbit. They play in a band. Yeah, okay, super cheesy and a little childish, but whatever. Everything's so whatever. Excited that school's finally done? Dad asks. He's been trying to make pleasant small talk since you left home to go to the library. You've been ignoring him. He had put on one of his favorite country music stations that plays the worst kind of music. And the only way to survive was to pretend you couldn't hear it. But now he's trying to talk to you, and you ignore him again. Because honestly, the truth is the answer, isn't it? Isn't that easy? Yes, it's great to be done with another year of school, to be going into middle school finally next year. 6th grade feels like a serious step up, but also, you're pretty much doomed to spend this summer completely and utterly alone. Interesting, so I'm already getting a timeline. So this, I'm taking a guess, is after the events of the first book and of Fazbear's Frights and the Into the Pit game, after he is graduated. This is the beginning of the summer. Because the game begins at the very beginning of the school year, since the second day you go to school. In fact, it begins on the last day of summer. Alright. Your best friend Ben's not here. He left for the good life in Myrtle Beach, and it's not like the other kids at school want to hang. Nah, they'd rather just call you Oswald the Ocelot. Or even better, Lee Harvey Oswald. After the guy who killed the president back in the 60s, why do the popular kids pick on the unpopular ones? It feels like such a waste of time for them. Don't they have anything better to do? Why can't they just leave you alone like they do most of the time? And Mom works crazy long hours as a nurse at the hospital, and Dad's work shifts start early in the morning. So it's not like even if you wanted to be that kid who hangs with his parents, you could even do that. So there's no one to hang out with. And it's not exactly your parents have any extra money so that you could do anything cool again. Your big plans today are going to the library. The very free library. Does Dad really want to talk about all that? But now you feel kind of bad ignoring him so much you push out an answer. it's whatever. Dad sighs. He's probably over you just like you are over him. You wouldn't blame him. I know it's tough without Ben. It's tough without anything. I hate being poor. You probably shouldn't have said that. There are people out there way worse off than you. But you're frustrated and it's too sunny out. Too stinging bright. We aren't poor, Oswald, your dad says with another sigh. Yeah, I know. And I just got the new job at the deli, and I'm pretty sure I'm getting a promotion soon. Things are looking up, I promise. Why was Dad always so hopeful? You'd think the longer you lived in this town, the less hope you'd have. You think it would all just slowly seep away like a leaky faucet. Just drip, drip, drip down the drain. Sure, you look at your sketchbook, the signing of the singing bear. His eyes kind of freak you out even though you drew them in the first place. Hey, I have an idea, Dad says. Dad usually has plenty of ideas, not always good ones. Why don't you go to Jeff's Pizza after you're done at the library? Get yourself a soda and a slice. How does that sound? Could be a new summer tradition. Sounds a bit like bribery, like he's trying to make you think a piece of pizza is as amazing as a summer at the beach. It also kind of sounds okay. After all, pizza is your favorite food. Okay, whatever, at least it's something to do and pizza tastes good, if you agree with his plan. A piece of pizza isn't going to make everything better, and you don't want Dad to think he can just bribe you with one if you say you aren't interested. Do we accept the offer, or do we go straight to the library and just stay there all day? What's strange is Oswald's acting like he's never been to Jeff's. I wonder if this maybe takes place before. If so, how is it Return to the Pit? If it's a sequel. Maybe... I don't know. It'd be interesting if we're actually playing as Robot Oswald and the robot ending was canon. Remember that ending, guys? Where's GTA 6? It's 2025. I don't know. I hate getting picked on. Yeah, that sucks. Accept it. I ain't going back to Jeff's Pizza Place. Chat's conflicted. One of you pick heads or tails, and we'll flip a coin. Unless of you guys can agree. Also, when you die, you are always going back to page 2 or to last choice. Well, that's the thing. If you read the paper variant, then you have to flip back to the page. On the actual website, on the Kindle website, it just lets you click an option to go back to the last option. Tails, heads, alright. Don't take the offer. Alright. Flip a coin.
It's heads this time.
Heads. Alright, we're declining the offer. Sorry, Lily. It was 50-50. You have the strangest dream. You are swimming in an ocean. Maybe it's by Myrtle Beach, where Ben is. It's sunny, and the water is a bright I don't even know how to pronounce that. Turquoise blue. It's warm out, and you feel so at peace. You are happy and content. Suddenly, the skies go dark, and you hear a crash of thunder. The water has turned slight gray, and the undertow suddenly grabs hold like a hand yanking you. It pulls you far out into the sea. You struggle against it, dipping in and out of the waves, and choking on the salt water. But the more you struggle, the farther away from the shore you are taken. Then you realize you aren't in an ocean at all, but an enormous ball pit. It's like that weird one in the corner at Jeff's. But this is a ball pit that goes on infinitely. There is no escape, no land in sight. You see it all as if you are looking down at yourself from above, like a drone is filming you. You are tiny, surrounded by hundreds of thousands of colorful balls. The drone flies up farther and farther, revealing more and more balls. Millions upon millions. You are alone. It flies up farther and farther until you become indistinguishable. I don't even know how to pronounce that. That's such a long word. From the balls. Your head is just another round object. You are going to drown in colorful sea of plastic. I'm assuming he's having a nightmare. You wake with a start and quickly glance over at your parents, who still seem engrossed in the movie. Your heart is beating fast. You know it was just a dream, but it feels almost like an omen. A warning. Wait, were we dreaming that whole time? On the screen. The marketing... I don't know how to pronounce that. And the small town hunk kiss, and you sink back into the sofa. You feel terrible and very uneasy. You decide and there that you need to stay as far away from the ball pit at Jeff's as possible. And just to be safe, you'll stay as far away from Jeff's itself as possible. You decide you're never going back there ever again, and the next day you follow through with this decision. After you're done at the library, you walk home. You walk past Jeff's Pizza, and the smells wafting toward you are pretty amazing. But you look at the rusty sign and the large boarded up windows of the old expansion next door, and you've made the right choice. It's all just too depressing for words, and definitely too depressing to just go hang out inside there. You continue your summer like this, and the boredom seeps into every part of your life. You start picking fights with your dad just to have something to do. The fights get worse and worse, and they continue into the school year until you finally just start ignoring each other so you can get through the day. You realize you must have really upset dad because he always pushes you to talk about anything, even if you're really mean to him. But he's probably just as worn down as you are. The idea of apologizing to him does occur to you, but it feels like too much effort. Besides, he should be the one to apologize to you first. He's the one who gave you this boring, stupid life. You continue to ignore him. Ignoring is easy and becomes a habit fast. It bleeds into the next summer, into the next year. It takes you into high school. You continue to barely acknowledge each other as you grow up. Eventually, you move out and leave town as soon as you escape it. You try to answer the odd dad text, but you just don't care anymore. So much easier not to care. Eventually, you lose touch completely. There comes a day when it is the last time you ever communicate with him. Game over. Well, we didn't die, but we lived a very long and boring life. Congratulations, Emmy. You got us killed. Somehow. Alright, where were we? Alright, I guess we have to accept the offer. I mean, that's how you return to the pit, after all. Should have known. What do you have to say for yourself, Emmy? Let's go. It's called Return to the Pit because it's returning to that first book again. I hate this page. It's instantly death page. You always lose on this page. Wait, what? Yeah, we're cooked. Page 11. No, not page 11. Death page. Don't think about it, Oswald. Don't go back. At least I don't have to go back to Jeff's Pizza. Emmy, you kind of got us, well, we didn't die, but we kind of just had a bad life. I blame the person who said heads. You said heads. Unless you're talking about Siri, but you're the one who chose heads. If you just agreed with Lily, we wouldn't have done that, but whatever. Alright, first death. Woo! First death of 2025! No, I'm just kidding. Actually, that is technically my first death of 2025 in a game, if this counts as a game. I mean, I consider it sort of like a game. Yeah, okay, pizza sounds cool. You try to sound indifferent, like it doesn't matter. But your stomach rumbles right on cue, loud enough that Dad laughs. Thanks so much for that treacherous stomach. Great. I love it when a plan comes together. That's something Dad likes to say because there's an old TV show where someone said that all the time. Dad likes old TV shows and films. You guys watch old science fiction movies together all the time. Some of his favorites are the old Japanese kaiju movies, where it's super obvious the monsters are actors wearing rubber suits. You mean like the Godzilla collaboration in Fortnite? Which is kind of fun sometimes. Okay, so maybe you kind of like old things too. You pull up in front of the library. It's easy for Dad to stop the car on the street because no one's around. There's never anyone around in this town. Why you even have that single traffic light is anyone's guess. Like 2 cars travel by an hour. Dad hands you cash for the pizza and you mumble a quick thanks. You just need to get out of the car even if it means going into the library. You slam the door behind you a little too loudly. You didn't mean it to seem that aggressive. You glance up, but Dad just waves happily at you, and you don't feel guilty anymore. You dash inside the library before you can feel any more feelings. It's not actually the worst thing, but being at the library. It's more the principle of it all. Like you should be with Ben, hanging out, gaming and stuff, but instead you are on your own, hanging out and gaming and stuff. But the library is dark and air conditioned, and they have this comic book series you've been working your way through. And when that gets boring, you can also draw more of your mascot characters. It's kind of okay, actually. And the time passes faster than you expect. And suddenly, you are back out in the bright sun. But even that's a bit better because it's lower in the sky now. And you make your way over to Jeff's Pizza, one of the few shops in town that's not boarded up. Jeff's Pizza has always been a little creepy, but they do make good pizza, so you put up with the weird, dank smell of strange, shadowy figures that were painted over on the far wall, but you can kind of still see their lumpy outline. There's this raised platform in the corner, a stage once upon a time maybe. It's super random. The both benches are covered in this kind of plastic that sticks to your legs when you sit down. And even though you've seen Jeff himself wipe down the tables, you are pretty sure the rag he does it with hasn't been washed since the 90s. And then there's the weird ball pit in the far corner. It's roped off with this kind of netting stuff, and there's a hand-lettered sign that reads out of bounds. But why does it exist in the first place? Why have a dusty weird ball pit in the corner of a pizza place? And especially why if you don't want anyone to use it? It's not like you're super tempted by it. It kind of looks smelly and gross, but you're not tempted. Okay, kid, what'll it be? Jeff himself, greasy skin, greasy hair, grease on his apron. A plain slice and a Coke, please, you say. Jeff nods and turns like he's got better things to do, even though the place is empty and there are no other customers. He brings you your slice and soda pretty fast, and you inhale it just as quickly. Your stomach is still gurgling. Yeah, one slice is seriously not enough. You glance at your phone. 20 minutes until Dad comes to pick you up. Now what? Sitting here surrounded by the smell of melted cheese and buttery crust. It is a special kind of torture. Just focus on the dank smell, you tell yourself, and inhale the dank. Hey kid, I've got extras. You want? Jeff is there in front of you and is in all his greasy glory with 2 slices of pepperoni in his hands. Do you want? What kind of question is that? I don't have enough cash. On the house, kid. We close early tonight. Need to get rid of these extras. He doesn't wait for you to say yes. He can clearly tell that's the answer. He walks off again in the strange way he does, and you don't hesitate you inhale the slices as well. So good. Yeah, okay, maybe Dad's plan isn't terrible. Maybe you can do this again tomorrow. Or maybe, like with everything else, it'll start to get boring. And it's not like you'll get free slices every day. And one slice isn't enough, and it just kind of feels disappointing. Alright, so between the choices of the first book and this one, it seems this one we actually like have dialogue that we say. But then the last one was like, oh, use the phone, go out the left door, go out the right door. I can definitely say the choices are definitely getting a lot more, like, interesting. Alright, nah, it's been pretty fun, and what else do you have to do? Anyways, if you stick with the library followed by pizza plan tomorrow, yeah, you're over it if tomorrow you're just going to visit the library. I'm assuming if we do this, we die. So I'm just gonna pick myself, and we're gonna come back, because I want to avoid all death, because death equals more reading and a waste of time. In fact, I just want to check. I just click, and then, let's see, game over? Maybe not. Oh wait, no wait, maybe, I don't know. Go back, please. Back to where I was, thank you. Wait, no, this isn't the right page. Crap, okay, whatever. Alright, here we go. Let's just come back tomorrow, whatever. Dad is still a little too thrilled how well his whole library and pizza idea went. You roll your eyes, but he's not watching. He's just keeping his eyes on the road like there'd be anyone to crash into. He could probably do that thing they do in the movies where the driver just starts talking to the passenger and looking right at them and still make it all the way to home safe and sound. As it is, you do make it home safe and sound, and Dad suggests watching one of those old, terrible, but also kind of fun monster movies he likes, that you maybe like too. Maybe. Just a bit. Oswald is such a Debbie Downer. Oh, come on, you say, pointing right at the screen. You could basically see that guy's head inside the monster mouth on the costume. That's what makes it awesome, Dad replies with a laugh. Another eye roll. This time Dad sees. Suddenly, you're beamed in the face with a couch pillow. You can't help but laugh. It's so cheesy. Nothing wrong with cheesy, replies Dad. You shake your head, but you don't stop watching the movie or anything, because of course you do have to see if the mech lizard is going to defeat the giant zombie butterfly or not. Mechagodzilla versus, whatever it's called. Motha? I don't know. I know it has Moth in the name. Mothra. One sec. Sorry. Company, you know. You guys know when like you're in the middle of gaming and then someone just walks in your room and expects you, just invades your privacy. If you know, you know. Lol, yay, we died. Bruh. I'm so excited for Escape from the Pizzaplex interactive novel. That comes out in, like, 4 or 5 months, I think. Pizza! FNAF Secure Reach was so lagging when it started. Well, that's what made it special. Just do it. If you do the other one, you die, lol. Oh, okay. Is it just me, or the day after Christmas everybody got drip? 43% more till I hit champion. Keep going, Emmy. Keep going. Is it crazy that we're closer to 2050 than... They're 25 years apart, Emmy. What are you talking about? Emmy, I don't know what comparison you're trying to make, but it's not working. I don't see it. Alright, where was I? Crap. Right, Mothra. You finish the movie, you go to bed, you wake up and smell pancakes. Pancakes are always nice to smell to wake up to. Morning, hun, Mom says. You slouch your way into the kitchen. You're still tired, but you have an exciting full day of going to the library ahead of you, so you better be up and ready for it. Wow, you're even sarcastic to yourself inside your brain. Hey, Mom, you sit at the table and she gives you a peck on top of your head while placing a plate of pancakes in front of you. I think a peck means a kiss. How was yesterday? She asks, passing you the syrup and then turning back to the stove. It was fine, 'cause it was. That's kind of all it was, really. It existed. It happened. That's about all anyone could say about it. Okay, the pizza was pretty good, but that's kind of pathetic to choose as some kind of exciting highlight. Well, I'm glad it was at least not terrible, Mom says. Yeah, at least not that. And then you get ready for another not terrible day. Same old, reading more of that comic series, eating more free pizza, evidently, Jeff. Jeff has a ton of pizza, just lying around or something. Maybe he should stop making so much. Well, you're not going to suggest anything to him while he's handing you the extra slices. And then Dad picks you up, and then it's the same cycle over and over again. Day after day. You run through that one comic series and start another. Your mascot band is now on tour, and you draw them in locations around the world. I wonder if that's a Freddy and Tour reference. The pizza still tastes good, but maybe it's getting a little boring. Day after day. At the end of the week, there is a bit of a change in the routine with family night. Family night is a weekly tradition that you do with both your parents, probably something to do with bonding or whatever. It's just the three of you. It's not like you're inviting long-lost relatives or anything. What about Grandma? Doesn't Grandma live nearby? With the, like, bubble paper... Or not bubble paper, what is it called? Bubble wrap? Yeah, bubble wrap bones or whatever. Bubble paper. What is wrong with me? Don't you hate it when your brain goes burr, just randomly? It seems a little silly since you see your parents every single day, but yeah, it's true. The three of you hanging out together is not easy to do with your parents, having such opposite work schedules. Anyway, family night can consist of anything, a board game or maybe a walk to get ice cream. Tonight it's a movie night, which is okay, but you're just kind of over everything at this point, including movies. Not excited about the movie, Oswald? Asked Dad, flipping through titles on the app. You shrugged. I'm just kind of over everything. Nothing ever changes. It's the same every day. I wish we had money. Money isn't the most important thing, Mom says, softly from her chair. Yeah, you know that. She says that a lot. It's not but it makes things less boring. And even though you know you shouldn't say it because it'll make Mom sad, you add, I hate this summer. It's so stupid. I don't want to watch a stupid monster movie. But you like monster movies, Dad says. Too much of anything is dumb. I just want to do something different. Hang out with the kids my own age. Not like my parents. Or do you say, like, not like my parents? What's wrong with you? Why are you being so mean? Maybe you're just over everything, that you can't hold back all those angry thoughts in your brain. I think it's a lot more than that. I think that this book is a continuation from the game where he becomes a robot. That's why he's struggling. He's got a digital consciousness transfer inside of him. Something happened. This is sus. He's so angry at everything. You're too tired to play nice. I know it's not what you want. Yeah, because why would anything ever be what I want? Lower your voice, young man. Why should I? I'm angry. Jeez, somebody's crashing out. Because I'm your father and I'm telling you to. Okay, you two, knock it off, says Mom, with that trademark mom voice that just cuts through everything, even a fight, and makes everyone in the room shut up. I'm serious, that's it. I'm making you both watch a rom-com. Ew, I hate those. The thing is, with rom-coms are just as stupid as old monster movies, so what's the difference? But also you are just over hanging out with your parents, being around anyone really. Get up and huff and stomp upstairs to your room, cross your arms and lean back into the couch if you decide to watch the rom-com. This one seems like it won't get us killed, or at least a game over. Let's just call them game overs, because we're not really getting killed in these game overs. Not yet, at least. I'm sure we will later on. Maybe. We'll see. What should we do? Should we watch the rom-com and suffer through it, or should we just march up to our room? I think marching up to our room is appropriate with how we're acting. Honestly. That's what I learned from my teacher. What'd you learn from your teacher? What? I guess chat's not talkative right now. March up, you have... Yo. Alright. Let's march up. If you get up in a huff and stomp upstairs to your room. Stomp, stomp, stomp. You fling open the door to your room and slam it hard behind you. You know you're not supposed to slam doors, and that's exactly why you do it. It feels good for a second, but then you immediately feel a little guilty. Relatable. I've done that before. Especially just to like get under your parents' skins. Always works, but it always ends up in another argument. That's why I don't recommend doing it. Plus, my door is actually like super flimsy from slamming it all the time as a child. Kind of regret that I did it. But oh well, can't change it. At least not yet. Maybe one day I can get the door replaced, but who cares? Not that guilty, just, you know, a little. You stomp over to your bed and fall hard onto it. Maybe a little too hard, as you hit your head against the wall. Oh, ouch. But you don't really care. Yes, you do. That's painful, Oswald. You pull out your phone to play a game and your stomach sinks. Looks like Ben has sent you a text. Hey, normally a text from Ben would make you feel happy and relieved, but you're not really in the mood to read all about his amazing time in Myrtle Beach while you're living your weird Groundhog Day-like life of the library and Jeff's Pizza over and over again. You sigh. Maybe it won't be too bad. Besides, you could use a distraction if you decide to text back. You ignore the text and pull over the covers up through even though you are still in your street clothes if you fall asleep. I think we should text back. I feel like Oswald needs to calm down. He needs a little bit of He needs a little bit of excitement, you know? He seems to really, like, he keeps talking about the same boring old life. Well, here we go. We got a text from his friend. Like, that's a little different. That's what he wants. You lose if you don't? Wait, really? Watching the rom-com is a death? Wow. I know rom-coms are bad and all, but that bad? Jeez, Oswald. What did he do? Like, did he end it all? Okay, sorry, bad joke. Please no novio. I don't know what that one means. Happy New Year, is that what that means, Zach? You get page 11. You really hate page 11, don't you, Lily? Repaired. Text back, alright. You get the dream on page 23. Alright. Currently on page 13. Hey back, you reply. Then, even though you really don't want to hear it, you ask, how's your summer? Ben tells you it's going great. He's been going to the beach and arcades. He's even made some new friends. The pit in your stomach makes you want to throw the phone across the room. Why is he telling you this? To make you jealous? He knows that he's abandoned you to the worst summer ever. In the worst town ever. Feels kind of mean, but when he asks how your summer is going, you have the ability to type out a short and non-descriptive okay. You tell him about going to Jeff's. He tells you what you already know, what that place is. That place is seriously creepy. You talk a bit about War Rage 7 dropping this fall. You say goodbye. You stare at the ceiling. Yep, as predicted, that whole conversation only made you feel worse. Awesome. You push your phone to the side and go to sleep. You dream a stupid dream when you're swimming at the beach with Ben, and then your mascot band characters appear wearing floaties, and you try to drown you. You wake up and still feel like crap. You know today is going to be just a crappy day. Look, Oswald, I'm sorry about last night. I can tell you're going through it, Dad says. Sure, you say. You don't believe it for a second. You also can't quite believe that you're going back in the car, going to the library again. It's a living nightmare. No, not even a nightmare. It's too bleak for that. It's more like that feeling of zoning out when a teacher is talking for a bit too long. That bored, empty nothing where you're definitely not asleep, but you're also not really present either. Yeah, zoning out, that's pretty much what that is. I mean it. I want to say how impressed I am by you and how you've been handling this summer. No, you interrupt him. You say it pretty loudly though. You don't exactly shout it. Dad stops talking. He seems confused. You don't get to say that. It's not my choice. It's all yours. You don't get to be all proud of Dad when you're the reason my summer stinks. Oswald. You could get a better job. We could move. There are things you could do, but I can't do anything. I'm just forced to be here, and that's not a good thing. Oswald, you know I'm up for a promotion. You're always up for a promotion. You mutter under your breath, but of course Dad can hear. And we can't just move. Your grandparents need us. Your mom's job is here. When you're a grown-up, you make commitments. Yeah, I know, for other people like your son. You've pulled up to the library by now, and it's such a storming offline that you make a solid use of it by opening the car door in a huff and slamming it hard behind you as you leave. The anger fuels you in a weird way for the day. It's not exactly fun, but at least you're not bored. When you find out the rest of the new comic series you were reading isn't out yet, You just use your anger to storm over to the computers when the spinning wheel of death appears on the screen as you're trying to load your game. You just whip out your notebook in anger to draw instead, and when the bear starts looking like some kind of disintegrating monster and not the normal leader of your mascot band, you just lean into it and make it so his skin is peeling off, revealing a cold metallic structure underneath. Oh, he's drawing endoskeletons. And when you finally get to Jess and you have your slice, you eat the whole thing so fast you almost choke. Oh jeez. Oswald, chill out. Eat slower. You sit there, seething, waiting for Dad to pick you up. You really aren't ready to see him yet. You've done a really good job at keeping the anger going all day. Though, you are starting to feel a little tired now. Being furious is exhausting work. You look around and see the ball pit in the corner. Yet another thing to be angry about. That stupid ball pit that no one is supposed to use, but somehow it still exists. What is the point of it? You glance over to look for Jeff, but he's disappeared into the kitchen. This is your chance. Your chance for what exactly? Diving into a dusty ball pit, probably covered in the sweat and snot and stuff from hundreds of kids over the years? Oh, who cares about germs and no one's ever died from going into a ball pit. Sheesh, if you go into the ball pit. Click here. You feel kind of grossed out and decide even if your anger can't push you that far, you avoid the pit. Well, I'm assuming if we avoid the pit, it's a game over. Because this book is called, quote, Return to the Pit. What's weird is Oswald is acting like the events of the first book / game didn't actually happen. Which makes me think that he was so traumatized by it, he forgot about it. Like his brain just subconsciously removed it from his memory. Like it happened, but he forgot about it like instantly. And he was the only one who experienced it. His dad was unconscious the whole time, and his mom was mostly working. And Jeff was sort of involved. Although, there was that ending where the rabbit still came back to life and got Jeff, but I don't know. It's hard to know which ending happened exactly. Right now, I'm leaning more towards the robot one, where he becomes a robot. If you let the rabbit get you when you're supposed to attack him. What do we think, chat? Should we return to the pit? Get the dream on page 23. Yes, sounds like Siren Head. I don't even know what Siren Head is. I'm doing a race with my friends. Cool. My two friends are in a duo and they're both champion and they have hit Unreal before I hit champion. 3 hours, 33 minutes left in the book. Ball pit. Avoid the pit. Springtrap is about to take us again. It's not Springtrap, it's Pit Bonnie or just Spring Bonnie. And we don't want that again. You have to do the ball pit. I think we just need to go to it. Emmy, I'm not letting us get another game over, I'm sorry. Oh, who cares about germs? And no one ever died from going into a ball pit. Sheesh. You get up quickly and dash over to the pit. The rope is hardly an electrified fence or anything. You step over it easily. You look into the pit, up close. You can see the dust on the colorful plastic balls. You can smell something not great coming from its depths. It's like Spring Bonnie just pulls him in. Probably just stale like the rest of the pizza place. But you can't help but think of the word rotting. There's no turning back now. Actually, you could totally turn back. It'd be super easy to do, but you are fueled by that anger and you are determined. Anyways, it's just a ball pit. What's the worst that can happen? You look over your shoulder one more time. Jeff is still in the kitchen, so you just go for it. And faster than you can think. Pink eye. You jump into the pit and fall into a pile of dusty, colorful plastic. And keep falling. And keep falling? You are familiar with the story of Alice in Wonderland. You know it's all about the crazy deep rabbit hole. You think maybe you are suddenly somehow in her story because this pit doesn't seem to have a bottom. You start to freak out and throw your arms wide to slow your fall. You need to do something quick. Maybe you could swim back to the surface. You kick your legs behind you and pull with your arms. Your hands scramble to use the plastic balls as leverage to pull yourself up, but you push them down beside you instead. Your heart is racing now that your feet flailing, your hands grasping, and now you're worried you can't breathe. No, don't be stupid. You're not actually underwater. There is air in here. There is air. Slowly and painfully, you manage to swim back up through the balls. The higher you get, the more confident you are. You can do this. You can do this. You have to do this. With a whoosh, you finally pop your head out of the pit. You take in a deep breath and close your eyes in relief. There suddenly seems to be a bottom under you. You sit there, trying to calm your speeding heart. Then you slowly sense something's different. Something's off. The sound. The sounds you are hearing aren't quite the drone of the old soda fridge behind the counter. They aren't the faint music Jeff insists on playing some kind of jazz flute awfulness. No, it's the clinking of bells, the laughter of kids, loud happy music, and well, the sound of joy. You open your eyes, and once again, you breathe. Your breath is taken away. You're still at Jeff's, or at least you think you are. The shape of the room, the general layout, seems like a perfect mirror to the restaurant you have found yourself in. No, wait, you're wrong. It's a little bigger, wider. You realize it's actually a perfect footprint of Jeff's Pizza, and the shuttered shop beside it. Is this Jeff's? If so, this Jeff's is twice as big. This place isn't the creepy, musty pizza place you're familiar with. This place is awesome. You stare at a crowded restaurant arcade. Kids are everywhere, laughing and playing games like the ones you'd hear. Is this just Into the Pit 1? The story is similar, although Oswald's very angry. Now, I didn't read the first book in full. I just know most of the details. But Oswald didn't seem that angry during the game. Although we do immediately get to the pit, like that's the first objective. We only get like a cutscene and a half, so I don't know. I'm trying to think if this is actually a continuation, a sequel maybe, or just the same story. I don't know, it's weird. Why tell the same story 3 times? It seems kind of stupid. I thought this was going to be a continuation. No, surely not. Let's just keep reading. Where was I? This place is awesome. You stare at the crowded restaurant. Kids are everywhere, laughing and playing games like the ones you heard Dad talk about from his childhood. These big cabinet-like games set up in rows, flashing colorful lights with big neon signs telling you what they are. So many games. You stare wide-eyed and slack-jawed. This is beyond amazing if you think you absolutely need to explore all this. It doesn't matter how cool it looks. This is absolutely freaky, and who knows what might happen if you step out of the ball pit. You nope out of there and dive back into the pit. I mean, obviously we gotta explore. Obviously. Let's see. You have to do ball pit. What? I never did that. That's why you don't go into the pit. creepy out there. Yes, it is. It's just an interactive version. Same story. It's the same story? Really? That's stupid. I thought this was gonna be new. Oh, come on. Wait. So what's different? Is the ending different? I thought that the title Return to the Pit was meant it would be a continuation. Like Oswald goes back into the pit for whatever reason. Well, now I'm confused. The true ending is not? Oh, jeez. Also, something I can note is it doesn't seem like this book doesn't have a bonus item like the first one did. Before I bought it, I thought it was a continuation too. Well, that's what it seemed like. I mean, the title Return to the Pit seems like a title that you'd use that is like a sequel or a prequel. Something. Not the same story. So only the ending is different? The true ending is the same. All the others are not... Wait, the true ending is the same? All the others are not, pretty much? This is making me not want to do this series anymore. We got scammed. Well, that's disappointing. Oh, hello, Michael Afton. Michael Afton has joined the party. Let's see, it's 2025. What would that be in the FNAF timeline? Yo, Mike, you survived that fire, bro? Did the FNAF 6 fire happen already? It's so fun, please. I was hoping for new storyline, Lily. The one and only. We gotta hide, what? Why would you hide from Michael? Michael's a good guy. Or at least he's mostly a good guy. Okay, what is happening? Did my death news become that famous? Sort of. Depends how the timeline goes, really. Supposedly, FNAF 6 took place sometime in 2023 or 2024, I think. Where's FNAF 2? FNAF 2 would be burned by now. Because the thing is, I think FNAF 3 happens in summer of 2023. And then FNAF 6 happens sometime later on. I don't know how much time passes, though. I like how the guy's playing along, though. It's funny. Alright. I guess we can maybe continue reading, I don't know. Knowing this is the exact same story, it kind of makes me feel a little bit sad and disappointed. Wait, what? Hey, burnt spaghetti, you suck. What? He has a burnt spaghetti. What are you? Okay, whatever. You do you, Michael Afton. You Stand up in the pit and notice you aren't alone. Little kids are playing in the dusty balls at your feet. You feel a little silly being surrounded by them. You smile awkwardly at the 3-year-old who stares at you intensely, and they try to shove an entire red ball into your mouth. Ew! And then you turn around. You turn and climb out of the pit. You quickly walk away, pretending like you were never in it, and look around some more. This is truly incredible. You feel a buzzing of excitement, a feeling you didn't know you were still capable of feeling at all anymore. You feel happy. You wander over the arcade games, which seems to extend into that shop next door to Jeff's. There are so many. There's skee balls, there's a whack-a-mole, there's pinball. Then there are the actual arcade games, some of which you still play now on the computer. Wrecking Crew, Road Blaster. It's hard to see the gameplay with so many kids surrounding each of the machines. Kids are waiting for their turn, placing tokens along the edge of the machines to hold their place. I bet there's a full line lined up for Buff Helpy's game. In fact, here, you know what? How about we just quickly swap over. Let's do this real quick. Let's see if I still got it. I just want to check. Ready, chat? Here goes nothing. Ah, it hurts! Pain! Yeah, I didn't beat my old record. I wasn't ready. Alright, where's the music? No, music. Thank you. Are we tired of this song, by the way? Should we do a different one? We could do the title theme. Although it's very quiet. Actually, this song works since we're in the pizza place. There's so many endings. I'm sure there is. But like, I was here for I wanted to do this mainly for the lore. That's why we read the first book on stream, because it actually had interesting new lore. Like, we learned about the phone guy, we learned about his daughter, we learned how the animatronics wanted to escape. Like, we got new information out of that. This is a retelling. And that's kinda lame in my opinion. Like, no offense. I think I'd maybe rather watch Ritos' analysis on this, because it doesn't seem like this has any new information. Unless there's a secret twist that you're trying to keep away from me to not spoil it. There's so many endings. Got second place, 1 kill, and went up by 8. Nice, that's good. You might think that's bad, but that's good for Elite. In fact, that's a blessing for Champion. 8%, that's amazing. I'm so good, I just hide lol. Remember to get some kills though. Kills help. What? Alright, enough with you guys in the chat. You guys do you. I'm gonna get back to reading. Okay, let's see. You know, honestly, I'm kind of tempted to just, like... Hold on. Let me go here. Ignore my recommendations. Kinda just want to watch this video. Like these two videos right here. I'm sure this one will explain everything new. Like, I'd wish I could react to this stuff on stream, but the chances of me getting copyrighted are very high. You know? You know what I mean? Watch it on stream lol. I mean, I don't know about that, man. I don't want to get copyrighted. Like, wouldn't I get copyrighted for watching this on stream?
Five Nights at Freddy's has a new book series. They ventured into the literary world going on like 8 years ago, so it's no surprise that there's a new FNAF book. But this new series, unlike all the ones that came before it, doesn't have like a catchy title or anything. We had the Silver Eyes trilogy, then we had Fazbear Frights, then Tales from the Pizzaplex, but for these, all we have is interactive novel, which feels kind of clinical, but it's the only title that carries through for all the stories,
I swear, if
so
I get
we'll
copyrighted
take
for
what we
this,
can
I'm gonna
get.
be so
But
mad.
this series has been some of the most impactful
Toast, don't
books
copyright
ever
strike me,
released for
please.
this franchise.
I love you.
The
You're a
first
very
one,
good human
VIP,
being.
was a shorter example of what the series is, but it gave us a lot of information between Tales from the Pizzaplex and Security Breach, bridging that gap from the books to the games. The next one we got was the week before, one of the best books we've ever gotten for this franchise, and it gave us so much in-depth lore on the context for FNAF 1, answering questions we've had since the beginning of the franchise, including Phone Guy's name. And now, for the third novel we've gotten so far in this incredible series, we have the earth-shattering revelation, it's just into the pit. Again, the slices, put on your aprons. Let's bake ourselves a theory.
Boo!
So what is Return to the Pit? Well, it's proof that Into the Pit is Scott's favorite child. This is now the third time he's chosen to tell this story. First, it was the original Fazbear Fright short story, then we got the Mega Cat Studios produced game, and now we have this interactive novel, all telling the same story. But unfortunately for our brains and sanity, even though it's the same story 3 times, each of them is meaningfully different from each other.
Boo,
Things change
Scott!
each time. So we should go over what actually happens in this book, because when I tell you there are some crazy insane lore revelations, I'm not exaggerating. That being said, it's a little tricky to summarize a choose-your-own-adventure novel. I mean, it's a choose-your-own-adventure novel. There's so many different ways this story can unfold. So I looked at this book and I tried to figure out how best to describe it to you. To me, it made the most sense to split this book into 3 main storylines. Sure, there are countless choices you can make within each storyline, but for the most part, most of those choices either bring you eventually back to the main plot or kill you. So there's 3 like end states that you can get to. So moving forward, I'm going to refer to them as the canon playthrough, the secret playthrough, and the Avengers playthrough.
What?
Yes, those are the best descriptors I can give each plotline.
The Avengers? Five Nights at Freddy's X Marvel confirmed? What? Don't tell me that Tony Stark is secretly friends with William Afton.
I'm not kidding. But we'll start with the canon playthrough. No, in like your lower. All 3 stories start the same. You are Oswald, and you and your lower class family are stuck in this dying town. Over this summer, your dad doesn't want you alone at home all day, so he brings you to the library on his way to work. And about halfway through the day, you go from the library to Jeff's Pizza for a slice to eat, and then you repeat. It's not a bad day, but it's the only thing you get to do every single day all summer. So it gets old very quickly. One day, while you're annoyed at your father, you find the abandoned ball pit in the back of Jeff's Pizza. And to get back at him, you decide to hide, so he'll have to come inside and look for you. But when Oswald goes into the ball pit, there's no bottom. He keeps going deep deeper and deeper. So deep, in fact, that he has to struggle to swim back up. And when he gets there, he's not in Jeff's Pizza anymore. Well, the building layout is mostly the same, but there's arcade games, playing children, the ball pit isn't abandoned anymore,
Exactly,
and there's an animatronic band on stage. Looking around, Oswald finds out that this ball pit has sent him back to the 1985...
So in 4 minutes, 12 seconds, he has read already all I've read. And that took me over an hour. Jeez. You know a secret? Some people say I'm just a little rotten body and then Glamrock Freddy in his suit. Do you possess Glamrock Freddy? That's a good question. Hopefully that gets mentioned one day. Although knowing Scott, he probably will keep that to himself. Does it make sense in Glamrock Freddy's suit? I don't know. I feel like it has to do something with like how he was digging. Like, cause Vanny and Glitchtrap / Mimic were using Glamrock Freddy to dig. I don't know, it's like when Freddy starts going haywire and talking as you're, like, going down to that area, it seems like he seems possessed. It might only be Augmented Universe. Wait, what? Augmented Universe AU? I don't know what AU means. I'm lost now. Yeah, makes sense. Gotta fix Funtime Foxy. You do you, Michael. I'm watching a stream that's watching a video. Reaction video. Thank you. I'm reacting. Right, Toast, please don't sue me. Please. I'm begging you. Don't copyright strike me.
Freddy Fazbear's Pizza that used to be in this very building. We then meet two kids, Chip and Mike, and become quick friends with them, spending the whole day playing arcade games and eating pizza, even though there's a creepy yellow rabbit suit that's staring at us in the back corner. Eventually, Oswald figures he should go home as his dad is probably getting worried, and he goes back into the ball pit, which is now a shallow, normal ball pit. He counts to 100 while laying underneath, and when he sits back up, he's back at Jeff's Pizza, noticing that in the current day, no time has passed at all. So after this resulting turn of events, Oswald spends the rest of his summer visiting that 1985 Freddy Fazbear's Pizza every single day, until the last day of summer, where when you enter the ball pit, he finds a screaming scene. Parents and children are running all over the place, frantically trying to get out as fast as they can. And in that moment, Oswald notices the yellow rabbit is beckoning him to follow. He does, and is led into a back room where he finds 5 dead children with party hats all on. He runs to escape, and the yellow rabbit gives chase, and he gets back out through the ball pit, where his dad finds him and scolds him for hiding from him even though he was calling for Oswald. But in that moment, the yellow rabbit bursts out of the ball pit, grabbing his dad, and there's a fight. After some wrestling, his dad is in the ball pit somewhere unseen, and the yellow rabbit exits, grabbing Oswald, dragging him out of Jeff's Pizza into his father's car, and drives him home. Oswald is freaked out, so he runs up to his room and texts his mom that something's wrong with Dad. And she gets back and assures him that his dad is fine, just in bed, and that he should get some rest since the first day of school is tomorrow. Oswald agrees and goes to bed, and in the morning when he comes down for breakfast, he finds that instead of his dad, the yellow rabbit is sitting at the other end of the table, his mom thinking that the yellow rabbit is his dad. It's in this moment that you can make a choice between two playthroughs, the canon ending or the Avengers ending, fight or flight, or more accurately, play along or run away. But like I mentioned, we're going over the canon playthrough, so you play along, pretending that it's your dad in front of mom and going to school. And while you're at school, you meet a new girl, Gabrielle, who's reading a book of Greek heroes, and that gives Oswald the courage to face the yellow rabbit. So after he goes home, he sneaks out and runs back to Jeff's Pizza. Searching in the ball pit, he finds his father, but in that moment, the yellow rabbit arrives. They struggle, and he manages to shove the yellow rabbit into the netting of the ball pit. And as it struggles in the netting, it ends up hanging itself, dying. And once it's dead, Oswald's dad wakes up, the two of them hug, make up with each other, and leave Jeff's Pizza. That should have all been pretty familiar at this point. Like I said, it's basically just the story of Into the Pit with a few minor changes. The same thing we've seen in Fazbear Frights and in the Mega Cat Studios game. But that was just the first playthrough, because during that playthrough, if you made specific choices, you would have found half of a Freddy Fazbear's token. And at this ending, you can find the other half outside of Jeff's Pizza. If you have both halves, the book instructs you to form it into one Freddy Fazbear's special token and restart your playthrough. This is how you access the secret playthrough, starting over and making the same choices.
I like how he's using the help wanted token. I like that a lot. Also, so I guess the token is the bonus item.
Book instructs you to form it into one Freddy Fazbear's special token and restart your playthrough. This is how you access the secret playthrough.
Okay, so that's... the token is the phone. Interesting. The token is the phone of this book.
Starting over and making the same choices, upon entering the ball pit for the first time, Oswald encounters an arcade machine called 8-Bit Escape that's only...
Also, I'm sorry that I don't want to read this whole entire book. We did so many streams playing that darn game. I do not want to read every single last detail about that game again. I'd rather just play the game again. Reading it is so long. And like Emmy said, it's going to take over 3 hours. I don't want to do that.
Only playable with a special token. If you have this token on your second playthrough, you can start the game. When you do, you're whooshed into the game itself, finding yourself in a pixelated Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, you yourself also pixels.
What?
If you try to leave the pizzeria, everything dissolves and you respawn at the beginning. If you die, you respawn at the beginning. The only way out is to beat the game. The game itself is the yellow rabbit in a pixelated form, kidnapping 5 missing children and putting party hats on them. To win, you have to find those children, take off their party hats, and not lead them out of the pizzeria, but to a party table to serve them cake. Once you do, the yellow rabbit starts convulsing until it eventually explodes. A blue
Lore!
winner appears and you're whooshed back out of the game. But you're not in 1985 Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. You're whooshed back into Jeff's Pizza. But not the Jeff's Pizza you know. It's been fully renovated, similar to the secret ending of Into the Pit, where now there's waiters, Jeff's happy, there's arcade machines, and the dining room is full, your family eating at Jeff's Pizza. And among the arcade cabinets is a framed newspaper article that says, "Kids saved from certain death, whole town rejoices," dated 1985. So in this playthrough, you prevented the missing child incident. But that's not the craziest part, because I saved one playthrough for last. The Avengers playthrough.
Avengers, assemble!
Remember that fight or flight option at breakfast? This is what happens if Oswald chooses to fight. You can scream to your mom that that isn't your dad but a yellow rabbit, throw pancakes at him, and run out the front door. Once you get to the front lawn, you can choose to run all the way to Jeff's Pizza to go find your dad. Let's get this over with right away. But on the way to Jeff's Pizza, a car slams its brakes in front of you, and a
What did that say?
over with right away. But on
I don't have good game footage to impersonate this in FNAF, so driving a car is close enough.
On the way to Jeff's Pizza, a car slams its brakes in front of you, and a 40-year-old man shouts to get in. If you do, after talking with him for a bit, you realize that it's a 40-year-old Chip, our friend from the 1985 Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. He tells us a lot, and I don't know how to summarize this without sounding crazy, so I'm just going to quote the book directly. Oh, and I'll be skipping around, but there's a ... in the quote when I do skip. It's how you quote a book in literary terminology. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know about the ball pit, but a lot of weird stuff happened back in 1985, and there was some strange time-jumping stuff too. I didn't experience it personally, but it was kind of a crazy summer for us back then. An awful summer. Other people time-jumped, you ask? A couple kids in my time went back. Don't know if it was in the ball pit or something else, but yeah, that rabbit's bad news. Trust me, we all know that. I totally believe it's done that, kidnapping your dad. Not the first time it's time-jumped either. No one's managed to destroy it. Oz? I've put together a team to take down the rabbit once and for all. We've been waiting for it to appear in town again, and well, it looks like it's now or never. We were meant to meet today. Will you join us and help us end it? So yeah, Chip is back, and he and a group of people who've been tormented by this franchise have gathered in this town to lie in wait for the yellow rabbit to appear again.
Avengers, assemble!
To, I guess, beat it up. It's FNAF meets the Avengers meets the second part of It. Can't believe I said that sentence and I only know and enjoy one of those things.
T.
There's something wrong with me. But if we go with him, we find a barn filled with adults who are readying a plan and weapons. We also meet Gabrielle. We find a barn filled...
Once again, you hear what this part of the book is and tell me what FNAF game I'm supposed to show on screen, because I don't know.
There's something wrong with me. But if we go with him, we find a barn filled with adults who are readying a plan and weapons. We also meet Gabrielle, who informs us that she's Chip's daughter. They just moved here for this plan, and we would have met her at school if we just went to school. But now that we're here, plans are turning to action, and the leader is going to come out to give a speech before they go.
Okay,
and when the leader shows up, it's the yellow rabbit. But only Oswald can see it. If we insist to everybody that it's the yellow rabbit, they call us crazy, put us in a room until the...
What does chat think about this? Alternate dimension. Johnny reacts. New channel, everybody. This channel is not big enough to make a second channel. Could a ball pit be dimensional? Maybe. Why so fast? Because I've heard that. I don't want to re-listen. That's how I skip the boring parts of videos, okay? Because I already know what he's gonna say. Should have took the game. It's just the version, right? No, there definitely seems to be some new stuff. FNAF lore talking dude. This is Rytoast. Should definitely subscribe to him. He does FNAF theories and podcasts. They're very interesting if you're into the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's. He also does other stuff. Not sponsored. Freddy, Chica, Foxy, Bonnie, Monty, Roxy, Oswald, Springtrap, Mr. Afton. The thing is, every character you just said is wrong. That they are not in this story.
Plan is over, and when the plan is over, the Yellow Rabbit comes and kills us. But if we confide in Gabrielle that it is the Yellow Rabbit and wait until later, the plan goes to fruition, and they all
Hold on,
drive.
rewind. I don't know
when
what
the
he
leader shows, plans are turning. We also meet if we go with him. There's something wrong with me. But if we go with him, we find a barn filled with adults who are readying a plan and weapons. We also meet Gabrielle, who informs us that she's Chip's daughter. They just moved here for this plan, and we would have met her at school if we just went to school. But now that we're here, plans are turning to action, and the leader is going to come out to give a speech before they go. And when the leader shows up, it's the Yellow Rabbit. But only Oswald can see it. If we insist to everybody that it's the Yellow Rabbit, they call us crazy, put us in a room until the plan is over, and when the plan is over, the Yellow Rabbit comes and kills us. But if we confide in Gabrielle that it is the Yellow Rabbit and wait until later, the plan goes to fruition, and they all drive up to Jeff's Pizza. And honestly, it's a really funny scene. Quote, everyone barrels out of their cars and into Jeff's, weapons raised. We know you're in there, Chip calls out. You walk into the restaurant and see a very surprised Jeff standing behind his counter. He makes eye contact with you for a moment, and you don't know what to say. Jeff, get into the kitchen, orders Chip. Jeff kind of just stands there in his usual kind of way. Now, Chip turns and yells at him. That definitely sparks action in the pizza chef, and Jeff sprints into the kitchen. Crazy stuff. They start looking for the Yellow Rabbit, and you go looking for your dad. And you do find his boot in the ball pit, but a scream catches your attention and you stand up to look what happened. The Yellow Rabbit finally started a counterattack and bit Chip's head nearly completely off. A fight ensues as they all now see the Yellow Rabbit where it's standing, and in that fight, one of the guns fires a stray bullet that hits Oswald in the chest, killing him. Yeah, like I said, the Avengers playthrough. It's crazy. But what does this tell us about the game's timeline? Because there's a lot of other stuff that happens in this book that I haven't even touched on. There is insane, earth-shattering lore if this book takes place within the game's timeline, but does it? So far, every interactive novel has been safe to assume that it takes place within the game's timeline. VIP was very closely related to Tales from the Pizzaplex and Security Breach, both things that many theorists assume are at least in part within the game's timeline. Obviously Security Breach, but I mean Tales from the Pizzaplex. And VIP takes effort to explain the inconsistencies of the Pizzaplex's design within Tales from the Pizzaplex and Security Breach. It serves as an excellent bridge between those continuities, and it doesn't directly contradict any of the lore that we know from the games. The week before, the next book in the series straight up has a cover description that describes it as a prequel to the first FNAF game. But more than that, it gives us insane amount of lore about the context of FNAF 1 that doesn't necessarily go against anything we know from the games directly, but informs us about the outside of the game that we never got to see. So far, every book in this series has been a part of the game's continuity, because it was only giving us additional information that we didn't have before that we didn't know about the games. I was going in to Return to the Pit, assuming this book would keep that tradition. Exterior knowledge that we didn't have before about a story that takes place within the game's continuity. But if Return to the Pit is meaningfully different or contradictory to the story of Into the Pit itself or anything we know from the game's timeline, then it can't be. So, is it? Well, there are a lot of tempting options and contradictions to choose from throughout this story, but most of them are within the non-chosen paths of the book. The problem with finding contradictions for a story in a choose-your-own-adventure novel is it's not showing us exactly what happened in the games. It's showing us what could have possibly happened in the games. So the only direct information we can use as a contradiction has to take place within the same choices that we see in-game. A perfect example is the whole Avengers storyline. Does that happen in Into the Pit? Hell no. It's not even close to happening. The thing about the Avengers playthrough is it only happens if Oswald chooses to throw pancakes at the Yellow Rabbit and leave immediately, which he doesn't do in Into the Pit. Gabrielle is still the new girl who just moved here in Into the Pit, and Chip lets us know know that they just moved here to lie in wait for the rabbit.
Imagine we get Into the Pit DLC where we get this Avenger timeline. I would love that. That would be amazing. Make
They
that
wouldn't
happen,
have stormed
Mega Cat
Jeff's
Studios.
if Chip never saw Oswald. So Into the Pit, since Oswald doesn't leave his house and just goes to school, Chip never sees Oswald. So they would have never stormed the building. By the time Chip would have ever seen Oswald Into the Pit, the Yellow Rabbit would have already been dealt with, and he could have told them that. So technically, the whole Avengers team could exist within Into the Pit, we just never get to see it. Because by the time of the end of the story, the threat has been dealt with, and we don't know what happens after that. If we want to see if Return to the Pit is canon to the Into the Pit game and game's continuity in general, we need to use the canon playthrough and see if there are any glaring, huge contradictions that we can point to. And all I could find after rereading this book and Into the Pit story and replaying the game is the missing children themselves. In the original Into the Pit story, the missing child incident victims are described as half a dozen kids. And for a while, there was kind of a joke that Scott just couldn't count. We had already known that the missing child incident was supposed to be 5 kids.
Yes.
So we saw that and went, oh, he thought he was rounding up. That's kind of silly. But then the graphic novel came out and doubled down. So some theorists started taking it seriously. And then the Into the Pit game came out and showed us an image of what looks like 6 kids, and doubled down with that with the arcade game where we collect 5 party hats, of which you can go off into a secret area and collect a secret 6th hat being dangled by the purple guy, or William Afton. So with all of this information, we started having to grapple with the fact that there's a possibility that there was a secret 6th victim of the missing child incident. Is it Charlie B?
That would be interesting. If there were actually 6 in that, then that makes sense. That makes sense, since that would be Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, Golden Freddy, and then Cupcake. I don't know. I'd have to give that more thought. A 6? That'd be interesting if there were 6. But the newspaper in FNAF 1 said 5. That's what makes me think that this
Being
takes
lumped
place
into-
in an alternate universe, just saying.
Possibility that there was a secret 6th victim of the missing child incident. Is it Charlie being lumped into the missing child incident? Is it Andrew? Is it someone we've never heard of? But then Return to the Pit comes out, and it says 5. It says 5 a few times. Not only does it say it in the initial moment, but later on in the story, Oswald is having us panic spiral and remembering what's going on, and he says 5 dead kids. So either
Weird.
Oswald is meant to be the 6th victim, Oswald never sees the 6th victim, or there isn't a 6th victim. And if so, this book is different from everything else we've seen from Into the Pit, and therefore breaks the continuity. So what do I think is going on here? My best guess is that this retelling is just that, a retelling. This isn't one-to-one with any iteration we've seen of the story so far. But before we get upset about that, what if it's on purpose? If we've gotten a Fazbear Frights version of Into the Pit and a Mega Cat Studios version of Into the Pit, and both of them are very similar, is it possible that this version of Into the Pit is distinct from both of those iterations because it is in continuity of the games?
Maybe.
After all, VIP and The Week Before seemingly are definitively in continuity of the games, and they're perfected versions of their stories that give us so much more information that we've been lacking about those games. So is this the perfected version of Into the Pit that Scott wants to cement into the game's timeline as the exact story that he wanted to tell us? You put the rabbit ears on and feel stupid. Really, really stupid. Something sharp.
Hold on. I just need to correct something real quick. I need to correct Emmy. Except there's a problem. My mouse cursor has seemed to have disappeared for some stupid reason.
Games.
I hate when this glitch happens. No, why? Why is my mouse cursor invisible? No. Crap. How do I fix this? Let me try. Nope, that didn't fix it. so let me correct Emmy. You said 3 months until Secret of the Mimic? It's actually 4 months and... Wait. No. Brain fart. Never mind, you're right. Move on. 3 months, 5 days. There's your correction. Now, hold on. I seem to have broken my mouse because it's stupid. And I don't know how to fix this. I hate when this glitch occurs. Whenever this glitch occurs, I usually just restart my PC, but I'm in the middle of streaming, so... Well, you know what? Let's just finish the video, and then I'll just end the stream and restart my PC.
So is this the perfected version of Into the Pit that Scott wants to cement into the game's timeline as the exact story that he wanted to tell us? You put the rabbit ears on and feel stupid. Really, really stupid. Something sharp on each side of the plastic band, just by the top of your ears, suddenly pierces into your skull, clamping onto it hard. It's shocking and sudden. You should cry out in pain, but for some reason you actually feel quite relaxed. Really relaxed. It's like the stabbing into your flesh is a welcoming feeling, something you realize that you've always needed and now finally have. You feel good. You feel very bunny. You are one with being a bunny. Yes, this is right. This is good. God, I hope not. But what do you think? This is a wild story with a lot of wild implications. And frankly, we don't have any time to talk about the
now my mouse
implications
cursor
that
comes
this
back.
book can make on the timeline, because I had to spend a whole video explaining how weird this book is and that it might not even be a part of the timeline. But I'll probably make a couple videos talking about the grander points this book is trying to bring up. But I do want to make one thing very clear. As much as this book gives me a headache lore-wise, that's not to say that the quality of the book is bad. In fact, this is still a very, very good book and an incredibly fun read. I think it's probably my second favorite FNAF book next to The Week Before. If you have not picked up this book yet, which I think it came out like today or this week, it's been on Barnes & Noble shelves for a couple weeks now. I highly recommend buying and reading and playing through this book, even if you watch this video all the way through. I spoiled a couple endings, but the beauty about Choose Your Own Adventure books, there's so much I didn't talk about. It will still be a fresh read through, I promise you. In the meantime, if you like this video, you'll probably like the video where I talk about what the books tell us about the Mimic, which you can find right here. If you want your fan art featured on the channel, make sure to share with hashtag ToastArt. Huge thank you to the best channel members, the Dough Risers. Until next time, as always, stay toasty, slices.
That was actually a dough riser at one point. I got it for free. Someone did a gifted membership and I just happened to get it. Well, I guess that's the end of our Into the Pit read. It's just a retelling. Kinda disappointing, not gonna lie. Yeah. Unfortunate. Let's just zoom through this book and see if we can see anything interesting. Like that. Little 8-bit Freddy. And Spring Bonnie. Game over. Oh, that's cool. Little Freddy action figure. Looks similar to the one that Funko made. Ball pit. Spring Bonnie again. Oh, that's cool. 8-bit Spring Bonnie. Just keep scrolling. Oh, this is where we throw the pancakes at him, I think. I don't get what's with the bunny ears. Add the golden token. Bonus item to your inventory. Yep, there is a bonus item in this book. Means there'll most likely be a bonus item in the next book. There's another ending. Ooh, that's creepy. Interesting, his teeth actually look more mechanical there, not humanoid like how they are in the book and in the game. Anything else, or is that it? Oh, there we go. Children. It's probably the 8-bit part of the book. And that's it. Oh, look, it says it right here. Dive into a retelling of one of the most popular FNAF stories where you decide what happens. I just need to look at the back of the book, and this could have all been avoided. I'll make sure I do that next time in case if the next book's a retelling of Ruin. Or Security Breach. Fingers crossed that it's not. Well, that's the end of this book series. It's a lot shorter, but that's because we watched the whole video explaining what the heck this was. And also, this is just a retelling of the story. Yeah, I'm not wasting my time reading all this. I hate reading. I thought Secret of the Mimic was going to release in the summer of 2024. No, it's releasing in April 6th. 3 months away. Wait, what you talking about, bro? What? Just keep your mouse. That's how I fix it. I don't know how I fixed it, honestly. Just randomly happened. Well, bye all my fellow gamers. Another book done, even though this one was just stupid. Just a retelling. It's just, man, that's stupid. Oh.